Random House Audio presents A Christmas Story by Jean Shepherd. Read for you by Dick Cavett.
Duel in the Snow, or Red Ryder Nails the Cleveland Street Kid. Disarm the toy industry. Printed in angry, block red letters, the slogan gleamed out from the large white button like a neon sign. I carefully reread it to make sure that I had not made a mistake. Disarm the toy industry. That's what it said. There was no question about it. The button was worn by a tiny, indignant type little old lady wearing what looked like an upturned flower pot on her head, and, I suspect, viewing it from this later date, a pair of kid tennis shoes on her feet, which were primly hidden by the automat table at which we both sat. I, toying moodily with my chicken pot pie, which of course is a specialty of the house, surreptitiously examined my fellow citizen and patron of the automat. Wiry, lightly powdered, tough as spring steel, the old doll dug with old lady gusto into her meal of succotash, baked beans, creamed corn, side order of Harvard beets. Bad news, vegetarian type, no doubt also a dedicated cat fancier. Well, silently we shared our tiny automat table as the great throng of pre-Christmas quick lunchers eddied and surged in restless excitement all around us. Of course, there was the usual H&H Club members spotted here and there in the mob. Out-of-work SEAL trainers, borderline bookies, ex-opera divas, and panhandlers trying hard to look like Madison Avenue account men just getting out of the cold for a few minutes. It's an art, the ability to nurse a single cup of coffee through an entire 10-hour day of sitting out of the biting cold of mid-December Manhattan. And so we sat, wordlessly, as is the New York custom, for long moments until I could not contain myself any longer. Disarm the toy industry? I tried for openers. She sat unmoved, her bright pink and ivory dental plates working over a mouthful of Harvard beets, attacking them with a venom usually associated with the larger carnivores. The red juice ran down over her powdered chin and stained her white lace bodice. I tried again. "Pardon me, madam, you're dripping." "Eh?" Her ice-blue eyes flickered angrily for a moment and then glowed as a mother hen's looking upon a stunted, dwarfed offspring. Love shone forth. "Thank you, Sonny." She dabbed at her chin with a paper napkin, and I knew that contact had been made. Her uppers clattered momentarily and in an unmistakably friendly manner. "Disarm the toy industry?" I asked. "It's an outrage," she barked, causing two elderly gentlemen at the next table to spill soup on their vests. Loud voices are not often heard in the cloistered confines of the H&H. "It's an outrage the way the toy makers are forcing the implements of blasphemous war on the innocent children, the pure in spirit, the tiny babes who are helpless and know no better." Her voice at this point rising to an evangelical quaver, ringing from change booth to coffee urn and back again. Four gnarled atheists 3 tables over automatically, by reflex action alone, hurled 4 amens into the unanswering air. She continued, "It's all a government plot to prepare the innocent for evil, godless war. I know what they're up to. Our committee is on to them, and we intend to expose this decadent, capitalistic evil." She spoke in the ringing, anvil-like tones of a true believer, her whole life obviously an unending fight against they, the plotters. She clawed through her enormous burlap handbag, worn paperback volumes of Dogma spilling out upon the floor as she rummaged frantically until she found what she was searching for. "Here, Sonny, read this. You'll see what I mean." She handed me a smudgy pamphlet from some embattled group of right thinkers, based, of course, in California, denouncing the U.S. as a citadel of warmongers, profit-greedy despoilers of the young and promoters of worldwide capitalistic decadence, all through plastic pop guns and Sears Roebuck fatigue suits for tots. She stood hurriedly, scooping her dog-eared library back into her enormous rucksack, and hurled her parting shot. "Those who eat meat, the flesh of our fellow creatures, the innocent slaughtered lamb of the field, are doing the work of the devil." Her gimlet eyes spitted the remains of my chicken pot pie with naked malevolence. She spun on her left cad and strode militantly out into the crisp, brilliant Christmas air and back into the fray. I sat rocking slightly in her wake for a few moments, stirring my lukewarm coffee meditatively, thinking over her angry militant slogan, "Disarm the toy industry." A single word floated into my mind's arena for just an instant, canal water, and then disappeared. I thought on, as if the toy industry has any control over the insatiable desire of the human spawn to own weaponry, armaments, and the implements of warfare. It's the same kind of mind that thought if making whiskey were prohibited, people would stop drinking. I began to mull over my own youth, and, of course, its unceasing quest for Roscoe's six-shooters and any sort of blue hardware, simulated or otherwise, that I could lay my hands on. It's no coincidence that the Zip Green was invented by kids. The adolescent human carnivore is infinitely ingenious when confronted with a peace movement. Outside in the spanking December breeze, a Salvation Army Santa Claus listlessly tolled his bell, huddled in a doorway to avoid the direct blast of the wind. And I sipped my coffee and remembered another Christmas, in another time, in another place, and a gun. I remember clearly, itchingly, nervously, maddeningly the first time I laid eyes on it, pictured in a three-color smeared illustration in a full-page back cover ad in Open Road for Boys, a publication which at the time had an iron grip on my aesthetic sensibilities, and the dime that I had to scratch up every month to stay with it. It was actually an early Playboy. It sold dreams, fantasies, incredible adventures, and a way of life. Its center fold-outs consisted of gigantic Kodiak bears charging out of the page at the reader to be gunned down in single hand-to-hand combat by the 11-year-old killers armed only with hunting knife and fantastic bravery. Its Christmas issue weighed over 7 pounds. Its pages crammed with the effluvia of the good life of male juvenilia, until the senses reeled and avariciousness, the growing desire to own everything, was almost unbearable. Today there must be millions of ex-subscribers who still can't pass Abercrombie & Fitch without a faint, keening note of desire and the unrequited urge to glom onto all of it, just to have it, to feel it. Early in the fall, the ad first appeared. It was a magnificent thing of balanced copy and pictures, superb artwork, and subtly contrived catchphrases. I was among the very first hooked, I freely admit it. "Boys, at last you can own an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle." This in block red and black letters surrounded by a large balloon coming out of Red Ryder's own mouth, wearing his enormous 10-gallon Stetson, his jaw squared, staring out at me manfully and speaking directly to me eye to eye. In his hand was the knurled stock of as beautiful, as coolly, deadly-looking a piece of weaponry as I'd ever laid eyes on. "Yes, fellows," Red Ryder continued under the gun. "Yes, fellas, this 200-shot carbine action air rifle, just like the one I use in all my range wars chasing them rustlers and bad guys, can be your very own. It has a special built-in secret compass in the stock for telling the direction if you're lost on the trail, and also an official Red Ryder sundial for telling time out in the wilds. You just lay your cheek against this stock, sight over my own special design cloverleaf sight, and you just can't miss. Tell Dad it's great for target shooting and varmints, and it will make a swell Christmas gift."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?